All right, thank you, Dan. We have a live interview we want to share with you this morning. The YWCA in New Britain looking for ways to help build a community during what has been a tough time for so many.
That's right. Joining us with more on the membership and wellness department of the YWCA is their director, Heather Diamond-Levy. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. So nice to be here.
Well, we are so excited about this segment. We know we've been collaborating with you over the past several months because you guys have done so much. So just tell us a little bit about some of the new series and new things that you guys have going on.
Oh, we're so excited to be collaborating with the New Britain Museum of American Art. It's a wonderful place to visit in New Britain. And so the YWCA will be providing yoga at the museum starting in January. We've got 2 dates in January, a date in February, and then 2 in March. These will be provided online in front of some of the beautiful artwork at the museum. One of the docents will do a small little chat about the artwork, and then I will be having an all levels, totally accessible, trauma-sensitive yoga class that anyone can join in from their home. The classes will be free for anyone who's a member of the museum or the YWCA, $5 to drop in if you are not a member, and $20 to do all 5 of the classes. And registration links are available on our website at www.nbywca.org and also on the museum's website.
I love that you've made it so accessible for everybody. I'm a newbie to yoga, others more talented, so some good stuff there.
Yay.
Yeah, so on a little bit of obviously a more serious note here, we know that YWCA's sexual assault counseling services and mindfulness education offering free workshops as well. What do those look like there? It can be a tricky topic to cover. What's the dynamic? What can we expect?
So the Sexual Assault Crisis Services is part of the Connecticut Alliance to End Sexual Violence, and the YWCA in New Britain houses one of 6 of those centers for counseling, and there's a lot of information on our website for how we can support the community. But we've also come up with this empowerment workshop series, and we have 3 different tracks. One is more about sexual assault education. One is more about mindfulness, and then another track is just more about self-reflection. And there's about 10 different workshops that are being offered right now with myself and one of our other mindfulness educators. And anyone who is interested in picking one or more of these workshop opportunities is welcome to contact us. And through the grants, through the Alliance, we're able to offer this for free to the community. So this could be something done at the workplace. It could be done at a nonprofit that maybe works with survivors, or just anyone, any group that is looking for self-reflection or empowerment in their own lives. So we're really excited about this. The workshops are about 45 minutes. Every workshop starts with 15 to 20 minutes of trauma-informed chair yoga, so you don't even have to get down on the mat. And then we do a little bit of education, very dynamic. People are welcome to ask questions. We present the information, and then we finish with a mindfulness activity.
And that's kind of segue. I didn't even mean to cut you off there. Sorry with the delay. It kind of segues into the next question. We've been talking a lot about mindfulness. We have a 61-day challenge where we've partnered with Trinity Health of New England. And mindfulness was the topic last week that we talked about. And you guys seem to have a program that not only addresses mindfulness, but also maybe some educational tips and tricks for young people as well.
Absolutely. So we're really developing this opportunity throughout the YWCA, and we're starting to bring it into our childcare. We provide childcare for hundreds of children in the central Connecticut area, and feel like mindfulness education is a perfect way to start building up those little minds. And so we are doing yoga in the classroom, but we're also offering online opportunities just for simple activities that adults and caregivers and children can do at home or any place, such as bunny breathing or hot chocolate breathing. So we have little videos online about that we're also bringing, again, into the facility for childcare, but also offering out to the community to just help families continue to weather this pandemic. Our facility continues to be open, even in our fitness center. It's reduced hours, but if anyone's looking for fitness, please contact us. We do have hours available, and we're doing group fitness online and in our facility. And all of our group fitness is trauma-informed and mindfulness-based as well.
All right, Heather, thank you for being a great community partner. Best of luck with all of this. We'll get some details on our website, fox61.com.